Top up on ladies. My name is Chaz and welcome to the What If um, Huku had. I call her a frog girl. Huh? As so, yeah. She is from Ben 10, Omniverse. That she loves Ben, but in this What If, yes, she's like her home planet thing is Earth, so of course, and the empire that she grew up in got destroyed because of humans, a Pacific one, and so they were on their own island, personal island, isolated from the other worlds. And of course, Zuko is one of them. I think his name is Bullfrag. I think, yeah. So he has Bullfrag's abilities, and his arms, his blade arms have is actually part of his powers. He can slice through the opponents like they were made out of butter, like hot knife through butter. But he's also like what I did with the Tetraman and version of Zuko. Yeah, he's has the same abilities, but he's also immortal, so that I keep him as immortal and regeneration, and so yeah, he's the most powerfulest one. So he has the same thing as like what they have. So yeah, and then Zuko has a sister. I just throw her in. So in the like couple more what ifs things, I am gonna do is one more before I get too tired out. So just to give you a heads up. And now we move on to this story. So Zuko was born with Zumi, and of course, at the same time, Frog Girl, or not her, but her, was born like after the incursion or whatever that's called got invaded by All for One. So she's upset at the humans for causing it. So yeah. So, but when Zumi was born with as the fire manipulation quirk, but the reason why humans don't like that kind of species is because their eyes and their green skin. So yeah. And Zuko has like green skin, or green hair, but not green skin. But his eyes are supposed to be. They're white. Okay. So yeah. So he be as a cool kid. So his mother knows that he's the same species as her. So Sashi didn't want that her or the child to look like that. So she decides to get rid of him. And when he grew up on the street, so he goes to, or of course he learned how to control his powers. And his quirk is actually some random useless one. And it's literally called that. Does nothing. And so, yeah. But he can change his skin color to anything. So, yeah. He goes, now time skip from when he was age, or like, he grew up on the street, so now to 15, he entered into UA, and of course, he changed his hair color to look more like the kind of like what Alucard's hair looked like. So, yeah, he entered and they accepted him. And when he threw a ball, it's all that stuff. So I'm skipping that part. Skipping the Heroes vs. Villains. And yeah, because in class 1A, him and his sister are in the same class. But Zumi didn't know that her brother is in the same class. So, yeah. So Zuko was basically same thing. So, yeah. And now they go to USJ and they battled against the. I already have pictures, but I mean, you know. So when they got to the USJ, they get ambushed by villains, and of course, Zuko, one of his main attributes is water. So, yeah. So Zuko decides, okay, this isn't weird. As Zuko uses his full blast, as his when he was like a spear in the water. So, or just like how Gurren Lagann drilled through the water, yeah, he did that. So, yeah, he basically drilled through the water. Every villain got knocked out unconscious. As he created the world's first And he goes up to jumps up, like does backflip right onto the boat as he meets Ball Boy and Frog Girl. So that's what I call him, Ball Boy. So, yeah. Then Frog Girl is interested in Zuko because she sees him has like frog-like appearance. And it's just like how the frog species were. But she has a quirk, so it doesn't matter. Like her family, it's just a quirk. But the actual species, they despised. So, yeah. So he comes out of the water as he says, "All right, ready, set, ding, ding, ding." Sorry. So he grabs like Marada and Suyu. Oh, I think that's how that's her name. And they both jumped. He jumps farther than anyone that they know. As he lands, and as he stay here, I'll make sure that as he runs right past every villain. Of course, he did slice them with his blades thing. As he runs right up to the Nomu that was gonna kill Mr. Aizawa. Hera, as he taps on his shoulder, as he turns around, and he immediately gets punched in the brain, or gets uppercutted. Boom. As he says, well, oh well. It looks like you're having troubles with this one, Miss Teach. As he runs up to the Nomu, and he used one of his arms, or his blade arms, and pierced right through the brain, cutting it open and killing it. As he wipes the blade off of he wipes the blood off of his arm, as he says, for the record, is he like a Frankenstein? As the hand over his face, yes, he's a failed experiment. So now, and other than that, then he says is that Zuko, as he runs up to Zuko, was gonna really punch him, or like try to decay him, but Zuko like used his tongue and flicked him all the way to the wall, away from everybody. As he let go, and so yeah. As after the USJ, then the sports festival, Zuko was won the race, cavalry battle and the fight one, because he knows how to combat the opponents. As when she was watching, instead of having like that sad face thing or angry face, she actually feels like she's in love with him. As yeah, so he basically won all 3 rounds if you really think about it. And then now I'm skipping the like internship things. As yeah, he does face off against Hero Killer Stain before, and he won. Straight up won that. And then now his popularity, or he looked like that. Sorry. And when he won against that stuff. So, yeah. So, Zuko was basically got more popular than anyone. So, then the camp arc, or I'm skipping the camp arc, or during the mall arc was pretty funny. So, a girl that has a cloak, imagine if she had a cloak on, and like when she's out in public, she literally took him to one of the, like, away from everybody, as she tells him that it's like the same situation as when Zuko was a Tetraman in the What If Deku had Tetraman Princess as their girlfriend. Like how the King got introduces himself to Zuko. Yeah, it's basically like that. And so, yeah, as Zuko was like, as she or her dad known was that she chose a certain person. Of course, she decides to choose him, Zuko, as to go on a date and get married. So, yeah, he did. So, yeah. So they both like, yeah. As he goes to school, or like he goes to camp, and then the raid happens, and Zuko got kidnapped instead of All Might, or instead of Bakugo, I meant, as Zuko broke free from his handcuffs, and then he starts attacking everything. Yeah. As yeah, so as she knows that he's a big toddly one, or like toddler, big a big teddy bear, that she loves him. So yeah, as yeah, so she's basically, and so when she saw a raid on a news, Zuko was there, but when All For One and says, "Get out of the way, kid. You're powerful." As All Might knows, this is not my fight, or this is not your fight, this is mine. I heard that once from Tenya Ida when, but I'll tell you, I don't want to hurt, or no one gets killed on my watch. As his name, or his hero name is Frogman, or Frog Lord. So yeah, I said Frog Lord. So yeah, not the other word. So yeah, he basically All For One says, "All right, it's your funeral," as he uses a sonic blast, or like the he like a same thing what that one. But Zuko just took it like a man, or a frog. As he used his arms, as he sliced right through oh no the entire like thing. And when the smoke cleared, All Might and the rest of them are fine, but Zuko, who they thought he got obliterated, but turns out Zuko was right at All For One's throat, as he was being like super cruel. If you move, you die. As yeah, and when she was watching, she is like basically looking at herself. How when she's all adorable, and then when you really tick her off, she starts doing that. So yeah, as everyone's shocked when they were like, "Holy crud!" Usually, frog people, like frog human, or like the species, usually have that ability to move move out of the way, but he took it head on. As Zuko was basically, and he basically cuts All for One into pieces. Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort. Yeah, so yeah, Zuko was basically won that round real fast. As he literally went full on Sokoku on everybody. I'm skipping the dodgeball and overhaul fight, so Ares is safe. But of course, her and it was a time skip, so she got married to him, to Zuko, and to be accepted by humans, so they did. And yeah, so basically, he, of course, she gave birth to a lot of kids. Like, you know how like frogs usually have like the full like stomachs having like eggs? Yeah. Imagine her having that. As she gave birth to a lot of children. It's like repopulating the island back into it. And of course, Asashi. Of course, Inko told Asashi that that kid that was being like super kind until the All for One fight. Yeah. That is actually your son. I didn't want to tell you so because I know that you don't like them as your kids. As he looks at her, Inko. I only said that because I don't want anyone to despise us. Because if we had a son that was like did what you like what it would never makes any difference. So I did that. As he knew that her, as so they decide to give Zuko a call, and yeah. And some of you might be asking yourself, whatever happened to Zumi? Well, she is actually got, through all that time, she actually got married to both people, Bakugo and Todoroki. Okay. Yeah. Or let's change. to Tenya. So Tenya and Todoroki with yeah. So yeah. And then during Christmas time, they were busy a lot. As he's so overwhelmed that even so yeah. Zuko was basically was trying to help much as possible, like a big help. As he knows that he, of course, between with his hero job and his personal thing, he's always tries to go back and forth. And yeah, he's been so working hard. He actually got first place. Or he's the number one hero. He's the number one hero. He's also a number one in the like everything. He's also a first person that brought the humans and frogs united. So yeah. So yay. So yeah. And Bakugo, is and some of you might be asking, whatever happened to Bakugo? Well, he got married to Oraka and had one kid that has the combined quirk. Every time he touches something, it randomly explodes. Yeah. Or every time he jumps, around. Yeah. And Manetter is actually, he has chosen, or actually Momo, where is she? Momo chose as, yeah. So now this is the end of the video. See you guys in the next video. And before we go, who do you want me to do next? I was thinking about doing like what if her, or what if Zuko had her as a girlfriend, or what if Deku had him, or that girl, as a girlfriend. So, or even Yeta, like her, to be his girlfriend. So, I'm letting you choose between those three votes. Just those three. Not like what if Zuko was Pennywise or that one. Those ones I'm not going to do. So,